Welcome back to part 20 of the Pet Adoption app. Here we're going to work on a little bit on our styles, and we're also going to work on the show page, which is the page that is shown publicly for the pet, right? So that the pet can be shown publicly on the website and or on the app. But first of all, I want to work on some styles here. This card header here, so if I come to inspect, you'll notice that there is a background that I changed earlier. I think it's terrible. We don't want the background, we don't want the shadow. So I'm just going to come to application.scss, click on assets and style sheets, application.scss. And I'm just going to do Command F and type in card dash header. And it should be somewhere around here. All right, so it's not. So card header, no problem. We're going to change it, okay? So card header, so it's not in the application.scss. That's fine. Come to the top and we're going to add it .card dash header. That's just the class inside that card header, and put background color. Let's make it white. Okay, so that's going to be a little bit more trendier, cleaner, and we also want to remove the this color here. Okay, I'm just gonna inspect. Obviously it's there, so just click here, click over here. Obviously we did this here, and the nav pill is active, so copy this here. So you'll probably find this anywhere if you do like Command F and type in nav dash pills, something like that. Okay, so you'll find it around line 90. You just want to change the color here. You want to change this to white. Change it to white. Color, you can leave it the same. So copy this white thing and then just paste it here too, because for the active and the non-active. Okay, so nav pills. Okay, there we go. Come back here, refresh, and this should look a little cleaner, a little modern, a little better. And also you want to remove the shadows. Look at these shadows, they're ridiculous. So I did this shadow. It's called shadow. If you open views and you go to dashboard, you go to the users and you click on dashboard.html.erb, you'll notice I put a shadow inside the column. Okay, so and this shadow here, we don't need this shadow. Okay, for the column 4, the one on the left. And then we also don't need this shadow. If you come all the way down to the bottom, you'll see a column on the right. This one, we don't need the shadow in the card either. Okay, so we don't need shadows. It's too complex. There's too many shadows. Yeah, so we just remove the shadows, and then also this shadow on the nav bar. Go to the shared folder, and we click on the nav bar. There's a shadow -1, I believe. I put it there. There, shadow -1. You can change it to shadow -small, which is a bootstrap class. We didn't need to do that. Application.scss, Command F, type in .shadow. This one here, we can remove that. Okay, we don't need it. Well, sorry. So we just don't need that. There we go. So remove the shadow -1, save it, because the bootstrap class is already there. Dashboard, save that, come back here, refresh. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the pet. Okay, so I'm gonna use like pet ID number 1. Obviously you wanna open your database and you wanna find out which IDs you have. So if you go to like pets /1, for me it's nothing. Okay, but that pet ID exists. So if I go like number 2, because my number 2 doesn't exist, I'll get an error. So you want to make sure that like /4, you want to make sure you get a pet ID that exists. If it doesn't exist, create a new pet. Like my number 13, for instance, hang on, number 13 exists, and this is the show page. Okay, what you see here. This is what's shown publicly. All right. Well, usually in Rails. So we're gonna make that the show page. So you want to come over to the pets and click on the show.html.erb, that's what that is. Okay, if you come here, that's why you see the pets show. So we're gonna work on the pets show. Okay, I'm gonna close the nav bar. We don't need that. On the pets show, we're gonna add a slider so that we can show all the pet photos in a slider. Okay, because obviously when you go see a pet, you want to see all the photos. So we're gonna add it in a slider. So how do we do that? Now I want you to go to Flickity, Flickity, FLICKITY at metafitzy.co. Okay, so just go there and you can click on the Flickity on GitHub. So I already been here before this tutorial because my battery had ran out and I lost the video actually. But anyway, so just come over here and we're gonna install this. This is awesome. Over here you can see how it works, like this one here. So you want to use that, right? And you can click on the code pen to see what it's about. And that's it. It's simple as that. Super simple, super easy. Just come over here. I'm gonna just copy this name. That's all. We're not gonna use Bower. We're gonna use Yarn. So Control C to stop the server. Yarn add Flickity, and let's hit the Enter key. It's gonna install Yarn. You can double check with package.json file. So once Yarn is installed, obviously we have to install the CSS. So make sure the style sheets are loaded. So come to application.scss. And over here, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do require Flickity. So save that. Make sure you spell everything correctly. And then I want you to open the JavaScript and click on packs application.js. Here, you're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do the same thing here. We're gonna do like window dot Flickity. Window.flickity equals require, and then we're gonna do the same thing here, Flickity. Okay, so just save that, make sure it's correct. And once you have that, you want to come over here and we want to do the slider, right? So what we're gonna do is, I can just let you know what we can spend like hours and hours here, but obviously I don't want to do that, and you don't want to do that, but on your own time you can do what you want to do. But here's some HTML. So we come to the show again. The show closed. Let me just open the show again. The show.html.erb. I'm going to remove all this. Okay, I'm going to paste that in. So if you save this, save that, right? And then type in Rails S. And of course, you need the styles for these, right? You need styles. So I'm going to call this gallery. I'm going to call this gallery. Actually, you know what? Just come over here, just to give you a shortcut. I want you to click on Command F, do a Command F, and type in demo. Okay, just click on this demo here. We don't want this one. We need this one here. Click on this demo. It's going to open CodePen for you. Here, it'll show you what HTML you need. So we can grab all this HTML, copy that. Come back here, Command A, remove that, paste it in. So this is just showing you how to do stuff. We don't need this. Well, I'll take it because we have a demo. We want to make sure it works first. Open the application.scss, come down to the bottom, and just do styles for Flickity and paste it in. Okay, save it and come back again to the CSS here. You don't need this. You don't need JavaScript. We already have it. So now that our Rails server is running, we added the CSS. In application.js, we added the JS. We added even the custom styles. We added the HTML on the show page. So now you're going to see, if I refresh this page, you'll see the slider there. And there should be no reason why this shouldn't work. But again, Flickity is great. It's one of the best JavaScript libraries out there. It's made, and obviously you can use it if it's an open source app. As you can see here now, we have our beautiful slider. There's a few modifications we can make here. Obviously, we don't want them to be this short. We want them to be taller because the images are obviously going to be not that short and not that wide. So I first want to make sure that I have all my my CSS correct, and so we want to come back to over here. This data Flickity, just I'm gonna put some backspace to make it look normal. This is a carousel. All right. I'm gonna call it. It might conflict, but I don't think it will. But keep in mind that this is a common name, so if you use some other app or whatever, it might conflict. But carousel cell, that looks fine. So this is fine. But inside the application.css, we want to make this taller, and we want to make this 33%. Okay, so if you save it and you come here, you'll notice it's going to be taller and it's going to be the width is going to be better. It's going to be more like what an image should look like. But we don't want these backgrounds. Okay, so first of all, carousel background. First of all, we don't need that. Okay. And second of all, in here, we don't need these carousel cells because we're going to replace that with the image of the pet. So what do we have to do right now? First of all, in here, what you see, I'm going to just remove everything. Okay. We are going to get the image of the pet. Okay. Command save. Come here, and you're going to notice there's going to be only one slider. So we're in pet number 13. So if I was to go to edit here, the URL edit, you're going to notice something. There's only one pet. And the name is Samantha. So Samantha is only got one pet here. So if we loop through all the pet images, we are going to, I'm just going to come back here to pets 13. That's the show page. It's only going to be one, which is fine. But we just want to loop through. Let's make the loop first. All right. We'll make the loop first. So in order to make the loop first, we need to call, obviously, get the table. So the table is the pet table, and we only have one image in the pet table. So if we only have one image in the pet table, it means that we need to add more images. So sure enough, even though we make the loop, there's still going to be only one image. So I'm going to just remove, just remember this class, carousel-cell. We need to use that class, okay? We need to use that class. So I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to start making a loop. So over here, I'm going to put some embedded Ruby, and we're going to just, all right. I wish I was an autocomplete for that. It's okay. Now add pet. So that's the pet. We need to go to, that's our variable. We need to get to the pet photos. So we have a pet underscore photos, right? We have the pet photos, and actually, you know what? Let me just do this with the each do because it's a loop, right? So each dot do. So the items is at pet, okay, and then we are gonna get to the pet photos, pet underscore photos. Dot each do, okay, and here we're gonna put photo. You can put X too, but I'm gonna put photo because it's meaningful. And over here you want to call the image, right? So you want to get the image tag, but instead of the file name, we have to pass it this photo, okay? So we're gonna do that, and of course we're gonna wrap that, and it's a URL for, right? URL underscore for the photo, okay? So if we save that, it's gonna look pretty ugly because we're missing that carousel cell class. So you wanna put the class here and then put the carousel dash cell class. You wanna put that in there. I think that's how it was spelled. And come back over here, and you're gonna notice it's gonna be only one pet photo. There you go. So if you want to add more photos, I'm going to come to edit here, which is the edit for your ID might be different. You might have ID 2, 3, 4, whichever. So I'm going to come over here, come to Finder, and I'm going to just grab, I think these are, okay, so let me just grab a couple of more here, okay? So I'm going to drag them over here, and of course it's going to work beautifully. Well, this is a parrot. I'm going to remove that. Hang on a second. This is another parrot. We don't need that. And a cat. Grab all the wrong ones. Anyway, that's a cat. Let me just get like some of those ones. There. That's gonna look better. These are all dogs. Okay. Perfect. So now we have all these. I'm gonna click publish here. These are all saved perfectly. Now, if I come back here to the show page, you're going to notice that we have all these beautiful photos, and I can go through them. But the problem here, do you see this distortion? You see the distortion? So we want to make sure that this distortion is not there. We want to basically fit it. We want to fit it as a cover. And this, guys, it's an amazing CSS, not trick, but work that you want to always remember it. The object fit cover. Object fit cover is extremely important. And then the alignment. Where do you want this to be aligned? I want it to be in the middle, maybe in the top. So Of course, in the future, we can make some complex work with cropping photos when the user uploads a photo. But for now, the basic functionality, we can do a lot, okay? Let's just come back to application.css. And over here, where it says 300 pixels, 200 pixels, and all that, first of all, we don't need this background. We don't need this background at all. The border radius of 5 pixels, I don't know. Anyway, I'll leave it there. But we can definitely do a vertical align. So you want to align vertically, and then you also want to do the object fit cover. So we want to do the middle. Oh, it's right there. And object fits, autocomplete, perfect. And we're going to say cover here. Now, if you save that, you're going to notice something. You're going to notice that maybe some of it might be compromised, but like if I come over here, some things might be compromised, but it's a lot nicer. It's a lot nicer, guys. Okay, so now that we have that complete, we also want to, I think this font size, we don't need this font size at all, because that's if we didn't have the photos. And the color, we don't need that. The line height, we don't need that. Text align center. So this is all the reason what this before is, it's basically all the crap that, all the numbers 1, 2, 3 that we found. So the only thing that we need here is this carousel cell. Save it, come here and refresh it, and it's going to be perfectly fine. Now we need this margins to be a little smaller. I don't want to put 5. I don't want to put 5. Maybe we'll put like something like 2. Come back here, refresh this. You'll notice that they're going to be closer to each other, right? Border radius, okay. Oh, margin right. Okay, let's make it 3. Okay, and the border radius, I even changed the border radius. But you'll notice now in a second, it's going to be all closer to each other. So we can do that. Yeah, and then we also need to put, obviously we're going to have to, so we're done with the CSS. We don't need this anymore. Come back to the show.html.erb. Of course, we're going to wrap that inside a section, just like we always do. So we're going to do a section here, and I'm going to just put a style, okay? Actually, before I even do the style, I'm just going to grab this section, cut that, indent this inside once. Okay, come over here, and let's put a style. Style equals to, I'm going to just do a negative margin. So margin a dash, I don't know, margin top, I guess 50 pixels. Save that, refresh it. Oh, okay. Oh yes, what am I doing? Why am I putting it in the section? That doesn't make any sense. So cut the whole thing, Command X, and just put it here. Make sure you don't put it, make sure it's after that single quote. Okay, save it. Now this should go up. Okay, so it should go up by 50. All right, I guess it doesn't want to work. Inspect element, and just inspect the whole Flickity, not the whole Flickity slider. The carousel, embed draggable. Yeah, this is the one. Okay, so margin top negative. I forgot to put the negative 50. There you go. So if you come back down, you'll notice that that's it. So you want to overlap it a little. I'm just going up and down here with my cursor. You want to overlap it by a bit. So yeah, you want to overlap it by a bit. So margin top negative 50. So inside the inside of here, just put negative 50. It's not good practice, but in this case, it's fine. So refresh it again, and here we go. We got a negative 50 margin, perfect. So in here, I'm gonna start putting obviously the pet's name. So in order to do that, after this, I'm gonna put the container like we did in every single, I mean, all the other views, we put a container with a padding, or it's a container, a row, and then the columns, right? So division dot for a short form container, and then we want to put a row, of course. That's just bootstrap fundamentals dot row, and inside that row, I'm gonna put 2 columns, one on the left, one on the right. Okay, but I'm gonna put the first column on the left first. Okay, it's gonna be 8 columns. It's gonna take 3/4, not 3/4, 2/3 of the screen. Okay, so div dot call dash large dash 8, and inside of that, first of all, I should put some padding here. Let me put a py dash 5. Okay, so inside of here, I'm gonna do, let's see, I'm gonna wrap everything inside a text block division, and I'm gonna style a text block, text dash block. Okay, and inside of that text block, we can add some. So I'm gonna put like, a p tag with the. Actually, we should put the pet location too. So let's just put the location of the pet. So I'm gonna say like Montreal, Canada. Okay, save it. Come over here. Okay, so Montreal, Canada. That's great. We want to put obviously some classes. We can put a text primary or text muted. So class equals to, actually, if it's going to be a location, I should put the text primary. Yeah, so make it stand out. Text dash primary. It's going to be like this purplish color. And we should put a marker too. So we'll put like fa map. And there we go. Fa marker. Okay, so you want to grab this, copy this. Okay, so we don't put a. I just pasted it in just so you know. If you want, we can do it like this so that it's easier to read it or see it. So fa marker, and we'll also put a margin right here. So I'm gonna put MR-2. So I'm gonna put some margin just for the sake of this not being so, maybe 2 is too much. So it's not like all cramped up. Fa map marker, area hidden true. We don't need this. There. Okay, so this is going to be this, and then here, Montreal. Goodness. All right. This is hard-coded now because we're doing the UI. Remember, we're doing full stack, front end and back end. Come back here, refresh the page. Okay, Montreal. Oh, this doesn't work. Okay, so map, fa marker, fa map. Maybe map marker. Map marker, maybe dash alt, that will work. Dash alt, and then fa. Oh boy, I don't know. Let's see, maybe this should, okay. So yeah, that should work. It looks fine to me. Okay, so now that we have that, we also want to add the pet name. That's the most important, obviously. So we want to put an H1 after the P tag. Let's put an H1 now. And I think I'm going to have to restyle all the H1s, and I will. So here we want to get the pets. All right, so here we're going to say the pet again, pet dot, I think it's title, pet dot title. Save that, come here, and you'll notice Samantha. So in regards to all those, we want to put some line heights. Okay, so come back to the application dot SCSS, and what I want to do is I just want to like define some line heights and things like that, because it's kind of annoying to have to do this every single time, and that's what happens when you get a theme and you don't customize it. We didn't spend much time in the customization. Under typography, in application.scss, I'm gonna just do like h1, h2, h3, h4, h5, h6, like this. And I'm just gonna copy all of them because these are actually the elements, and put a comma there and paste them again. And over here, I'm gonna just put a dot, because this is gonna be a class dot. And then we can also use them as classes, right? And then, so what is this? Dot h5, comma, and then dot, what is wrong with me? Dot h5, comma, dot h6, and then open close curly brace. And here we can say like a margin bottom, let's put margin dash bottom 0.5, 0.5 rem. Let's put like a line height or font weight, font dash weight. Let's say, I don't know, 700. That sounds good to me. That's pretty heavy. Line height, we can say 1.3. And then we can put like a font family if we don't like it. So come back here, refresh this. It's gonna look a little nicer. And then the color too. Okay, so let's just change the font family. Fonts, Google, and just fonts.google.com, and then type in Poppins. I always like Poppins. Okay, so here I'm going to select, just scroll down, select the bold 700, select the medium, select the, oh no, this is medium italic, remove that. Just select medium 500, not italic. And then you want to select the regular one, regular 400, okay? So copy all that, copy, and then come over here in the application, do a Command P, and type in application.html.erb, and just select this one. And I'm going to replace this font family Nuno, okay, with that. Of course, we have to also make sure that we declare that, because I think in the theme file, they're saying the Nuno one. We'll change that later, don't worry. Save it. Come back here to Google Fonts, just copy this, come back here, and then in the close the application.html.erb after you save it. And here I'm going to put font family Poppin sans serif. Save that. And then, of course, the body, I'm going to change the body color, because honestly, the color is just way too. I'm going to give it a dark, like 21, 20, 21, or something like this. So let's say color, like, I don't know, 21, that should work, 21. Maybe 20, and then 21 again, or 25, and then 29. Something like that. Save that. So that should be, oops, come here, refresh. That should be dark black, but not completely 100. Yeah, it's pretty dark. Huh. Okay, we'll work on the colors later, but this looks a lot nicer already. And you could see the line height, it looks already decent. I'm really liking it. We might change it later, but that's fine. It's a work in progress. So come back over here. So in the show.html.erb, we've added the title, and we also want to add a bunch of very important information. And I'm going to use an unordered list, which in Bootstrap, you can Google it inside the documentation and type in unordered list, and you can get a bunch of information. So I'm going to take you straight through the shortcut, and I'm going to tell you that in majority of cases, you always want to remember this. You have the list inline and the list unstyled. Okay, so we have an unordered list, and we want to put a list inline. Okay, that's a class .list -inline. It's just like btn. You know, it's an important class to remember. And actually, I want to also put the small text. So I'm going to put text-sm. That's also a Bootstrap class, and margin bottom -4. All right, so over here now, I'm going to do a list item. And again, you want to repeat the same class. Okay, so list dash. Oof. So you want to put a list -inline. You want to repeat the same class again. But the only difference is you put an item, because it is an item. It's a list item. Okay, that's just a meaningful, beautiful Bootstrap class that is easy to remember. List inline item. And I'm gonna put a margin right, because for each list, I'm gonna put a margin right as well, because you don't wanna, I'll tell you in a second, margin right -3, maybe that's too much, but we'll see. Now over here, I wanna say the age, okay? I wanna say the age, and like that, and of course, maybe I should put two different contrasts, like two different colors. So I might want to wrap this. Hang on a second. Let's put a span and give it like a text secondary or something, or even a text primary. Let's put a text dash whatever. Let's secondary. And let's move this age, Command X, and put it in here. And underneath it, it's not underneath it, it's right beside it actually. Beside it, I'm gonna say mix. Oh shoot, I'm gonna say, no, I'm gonna say 3 years. Let me just change this to breed. Breed, make it mix. Save that, and let's see how it looks. Probably looks really bad. Oh, okay, it looks not bad. Doesn't look bad at all. So we can actually do this, instead of the text secondary, you can say text primary. Save it, come back here. Read mix, yeah, that's not bad. It's a mix, yeah. All right, so let's just do the same thing. We'll follow the same exact thing. So copy that, paste, and paste 3 times. So we have the breed, we have the age. We don't have these attributes yet. 3 years. We don't have these attributes yet, but we do have the ability to add them in the database, and we'll add them to the table, to the pets table. So that's the sex is a male, or it's a female. I'm hard coding this now, but we'll change it later. We have to hard code it. We're making the UX UI. It's full stack, right? And so we have the breed, the age, the sex, and we should do the weight too. Weight. And I'm gonna put what, I don't know, 30 kilograms, 20 kilograms, kgs, kg, like that. Save it, come back here, and let's see how this looks. There you go. I think maybe it's too much coloring, but yeah, I don't think it looks bad, but maybe we'll put text secondary, copy this, paste it, and paste it. Maybe it's screaming in your face too much. All right, so now that we have the basics, we also want to add some other basic, like if it's microchipped or if it's spade, okay? But I think we need to put, instead of the span, I'm going to put an icon. So I'm going to change this here. Hang on, this is my, let me just remove this. Okay, and I'm going to put an icon, I, instead of span, an I. And here I'm going to put fa, and then fa dash check. This is the check for the fa. I guess we can also say, like, without a margin, it's going to look like unbelievably ugly. And we're going to say text dash secondary as well. And after the icon, here we're going to say microchipped. Okay, so microchipped, and then copy this and then paste it in. And again, is it microchipped with a check mark? Okay, if it's not microchipped, it will be an X. Is it spade? So is it spade? And here, instead of check, I think it's cross. Or is it a cross? X. What's X? Fa close. Fa close. So, why am I refreshing this? Refresh this again. There, microchipped spade, fa close. Fa, sometimes it's easier to just go like this, fa close. But times. Refresh this. Okay, so it's not. So it's not spade, so there's an X in it. Okay, very good. I think we can also say that when it comes to these things, to the icons, we can always say text primary. Text primary if it's a yes with a check mark, and it'll be text danger if it is a close. Something like that. So that would be perfect UI. All right, so now on the next, well, we should do the same. This is an H1 though. So we can do, so this is it, the unordered list. I'm going to collapse the unordered list. So after the unordered list, we can either continue with the about. Okay. We can continue with the about in the same text block, which is this one, right? So we can continue in the same text block, or we can create a new one. Let's say just continue with the same text block, and we can put we use an H1 for the title, so we can use an H, maybe we'll use an H4. Okay, let's do an H4. H4, and here we're gonna say about. I guess we can put a margin bottom, right? Because without a margin bottom, it's gonna be too close. Margin B dash class equals to margin B dash 3 maybe. And over here inside the text, well, obviously it's gonna be a paragraph tag. I'm gonna put the embedded Ruby, and I'm gonna say add pet dot. Go open the controller, Command P, pets controller and just get the attribute. It's right here, pet description. Come to the bottom, it's called pet description. That's what we called it. Come back to the show pet description, save it, come back here, refresh, and it should show about and the pet description. So that's the pet description that I have added for Samantha. So in case you don't have anything added, so just click on the edit, just go /edit, and you want to add some pet description here. Okay, you want to add some pet description here. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to just go like this. Now don't worry about that. Please don't worry. This is not a problem. We'll fix it. It's just CSS and maybe a little bit of JS issue we can fix with JavaScript. So please do not worry about this. As long as you can paste it in and everything and you can publish it, we're fine. We're gonna take it one step at a time. So now that I updated that, just to show you, come back to the show page, and there you go. This has been updated. So so now that we have the description done, we want to work on other information like the vaccination and microchipping. Okay, so we need to show a list of vaccinations. Look, pets have almost, I think, something like 5 or 6, we don't know. But I'm gonna start adding all the, I suppose, oh boy. So I collapsed this, I'm a little confused now. Yeah, so I collapsed this unordered list, okay? And I'm gonna collapse it again just so you can see. And the text block is here. So on top of that, I'm gonna just say like, in here, I'm gonna comment and say a section of location, oh boy, location, title about, so that we're not confused, okay? There we go. And what else? And then, okay. So I'm gonna just collapse this block, this text block, and I'm gonna start another text block. So I'm gonna do a div.text-block, and we're gonna have to take this text block and style it and give it like a border top, or instead of, and give it some padding so it can look nice. So we're gonna do an h4 again, and I'm gonna put a margin bottom -4. And inside of that h4, we're gonna say vaccinations, and I don't know, microchip. Okay. So right underneath that, we want to do a row where we can split it in the middle, so we can show a bunch of vaccinations on the left and a bunch of vaccinations on the right. So I'm going to do a row, okay, and in order to split them, we have to add a column. So we have div .call -large-6, and we want to duplicate. Well, let's just do one first and then copy paste. So inside of that, again, we're going to do the same thing. An unordered list, just like we did above. An unordered list with a list unstyled. Okay, so .list-unstyled. And we also want to do unstyled and a text muted, text-muted. Otherwise, it's going to be screaming in your face. And then do a list, right? Remember li dot, what was it again? List items. What was it again? List items unstyled? No, list items, list. Gosh. Yeah, I can't remember. Anyway, so let's just give it a class. I'm gonna give it a class of, I'm gonna give it a margin bottom -2. So at least each list item has a margin bottom. Okay, and inside of each list item, I'm gonna add a check mark. Okay, so beside each, because this is gonna be a yes or no thing, right? So you wanna add an icon, all right? So we're gonna add an icon, and let's put a class again. And put a class for every icon, we wanna put a class, remember that. Okay, so we wanna put text secondary, we can put a margin right, because the icon, you need a margin, and then So let's first of all put text dash center. Okay, text center, and then let's do a text text dash secondary, and let's put a fa and a fa. I think dash check. So we have an icon for every single one. And after the icon, I'm gonna say rabies A, okay? Just let's test this. Come here and refresh. Okay, that's good. It looks like it works. Rabies A. So if I was to copy paste all this, copy and then paste, paste, that's 3 of them. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So this should cover our column 6 on the left, okay? So if I grab this one, copy it, and then paste it here again, I should have 2 columns now. So I have first of all, this icon, I think we forgot to put a margin right, so I'm going to put mr dash p, maybe we need space, copy, okay, and then paste, okay, paste, paste, paste. Okay, this is just the UI, guys, just the UI. So there you go. We got check marks, and I think we can do success. Anyway, we'll work on that later. Well, let's do success. Text success. Success like that. Text. Save it. So you should see the green ones show up, and I think it's a good idea to do. Anyways, and you can also do a text primary, for example, and you could see what the color would look like. Must have misspelled something. Primary text. I keep making a mistake here. Oh, I made a mistake with all of them. Wow, okay. I wasn't paying attention. All right, so so let's just move forward now. Let's move forward. So we have all those, okay? So we have leptospirosis, we have rabies, we got, I think, I don't know, a bunch of other ones. So here, I'm gonna just copy this comment so I don't have to do it again every time. Paste it in, and vaccinations and microchip. And then I'm gonna just paste it here so that, we know what we're doing. Now, this text block, I'm gonna collapse it. So now we're gonna do another text block. We're gonna add something more than that. There's other information, like, I don't know, we can call it specific. No, we can call it additional info. Okay, we can call it additional info. Again, I'm going to use the same class, div.text-block. This is not a bootstrap class, but I'm going to style it in a second. Actually, this is a bootstrap. No, it's not a bootstrap class. So we want to add additional info. So again, h4, we can use the same thing with a mb3 maybe, dot mb-3, 3, mb-3, and here, additional info. Okay, now below that, I'm going to do the same exact thing I did earlier with the unordered list. Let's say an unordered list with a list inline class, and then list items. Okay, so an unordered list with a list dash inline, and inside we're gonna do a list item with a list. I think it's the same, list dash inline dash item. So inside of here, there's a bunch of things we can do. I'm gonna put a badge, right? So over here, if you come to Bootstrap and type in badge, you're gonna find a bunch of awesome badges, right? The pill style, like here, for instance, just grab one of those. There we go. See here, I'm gonna grab the light one, so it can look nice and pretty. So grab this light, copy it, and we want to put the badge in here, and badge light, badge pill, badge light. And here I'm gonna just say dog friendly. Dog friendly. Save that, and if you come here again, pet adoption, and refresh this, you should see this one. You see that? Awesome, right? But we can also add like a padding to make it look nicer, because now it looks like a breadcrumb or something. So let's do a P3 or something like that inside the badge. So P-3. Oh. And then save it, come back here, and maybe the text, do the text, put a text dash muted to give it more, there we go, that's more, and then we can do a text normal. So that's text normal. I think it's text dash normal typography dash text weight. Okay, font maybe. Font dash weight. All right, no problem. Yeah, that's fine. So we have we'll work on the font. We'll work on the font later. So now that we have this thing over here, we can just do it over and over and over for everything else. So we have a list item, copy that, paste it in, paste it in, paste it in, paste it in a couple of times. So, let's put cat friendly. Let's put, I don't know, dominant dog, dominant. We can say important information like, well, not passive, but maybe shows signs of abuse. Shows signs of post abuse. Again, we can say something like friendly with people. Save that, come here, refresh that. Okay, very good. So we got all these different, and in case you're wondering, oh, what happens if you put many? Oh, look, we can paste it in and then come here, and then it will just stack up into one another. Oh, okay, so that means we need to put, we should put a margin bottom. We should put a margin bottom. We should put a margin bottom on all of them. So let me just remove all those last two. And each one of them should have an MB-2. So that way, there's always a gap. So if I was to copy this again now and paste it, save it and come back here, you'll notice that exactly, you see that? There's gonna be some gap, right? And even if I went like this, it will be fine. So we have that like that. So maybe the top ones here, we can fix the list items at the very top. I'm just gonna open those. Inside of this, we can put margin right 3, and then margin dash. Nah, that's all right. MB. Anyway, MB1 or MB2, just to make sure that it will give us a bigger, so that way when we do this, it has some space to breathe. All right, so now that we got that, we also want to add a video. So what I want you to do now is come back over here and type in embed, or embed. So in the embed, we can embed videos, just copy this, okay? Right here. This is responsive, it's amazing. Copy that. Embed responsive, right? And come over here. I'm gonna just collapse this because we don't need this text block. I was just fixing things. And then the additional info section, collapse that. So we wanna put the video right after the about. So we wanna come to the about, location, title, and microchip, and about. So right after the about, I'm gonna put another, I'm gonna say here, okay. Okay, so over here, I'm gonna say video. And here I'm gonna put a div dot, I don't know, I should put it in a text block, div dot text dash block. Okay, and in here, I'm gonna paste what I copied from Bootstrap. Okay, so if I save this and come back here, pet adoption, refresh this, you'll notice the video is going to be perfectly added. But yeah, just refresh again. I want to make sure that this text block, we haven't even like styled the text block. So we've used it so many times, and I think it's a good idea that we start styling the text block now, just so that we don't have to. Okay, so back to application.css. Helper classes, Command F, helper. Where did I put helper? Right here. Go to around line 55 and helper classes. And I'm going to put text dash block. Okay, I want to put dot text block. I'm going to put a couple of things like a padding top, padding bottom, borders. Okay, that's it. So text, text dash block. Okay, so padding top. Okay, I'm gonna put a padding bottom of 2 rem. Oh man, let's just do like, I hate using that. Let's put like a 20 pixels. Okay, and padding bottom, I don't know, maybe 10, half of the top part, 10 pixels. And let's put border, maybe border bottom. So that instead of putting an HR, so I'm gonna put a 1 pixel solid, I don't know, FB, FC. Remember that. It always reminds me of Facebook. That's how I remember. FB, so it's Facebook, FC. That's always a good way to remember it. It's like an off-white, So come back here, and now you'll see, when you refresh that, you're gonna see all these beautiful margins that we have, not margins, paddings that we did for the text block. And this here doesn't seem to be right. It's extremely light. So we want to put, maybe make it a little darker, maybe like C9 CE, C9 CE. Okay, so C9 CE, C9 CEEF. That's, I don't know if that's correct. I think that's what it was. I always relate them to things. Okay, yeah, that's a little darker, which is fine. It looks good. All right, so we have that. Except that, except for this. Yeah, I think that looks clean. But do we really need that border on top? All right, we'll see about that. We'll see about that. Maybe like no border for this one. Anyways, so let's come back here. I prepared a video, so I'm gonna copy this URL. And of course, normally, once we, in the next video, of course, when we come to like /edit, here we didn't add a URL. So look, I want to tell you something. If I save this here, nothing will happen. Again, we're hard coding this in a sense that in this show page right now, we need to, let me close this. Why is this doing that? Oh, because these are collapsed, that's why. So in the video section here, whenever it's collapsed, it highlights the whole thing. In this here, you could see, we have to actually call the YouTube URL. But because here it will only work if it's embedded. Like if I actually take like copy this, for example, and come over here and paste it in, and I save it like that, and I come here, let me come back to the show page, you're gonna notice it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work because the way it's supposed to work here is it's supposed to have the embedment, the embed thing. That's how it works. So inside the iframe especially. So we're gonna later manipulate the string that we just added inside our database. In the users table, here I'm working with ID number 13. So if I refresh this database here, not the users, the pet table, and you look at ID number no, Samantha here, the YouTube, this is the YouTube URL. So we want to manipulate, we're going to grab this, manipulate it, and we're going to grab literally from the W or from the R to the end, this one here. So we're going to manipulate it, and then we're going to do that in the controller, and then we're going to add it here. Exactly like that. So for now, this is just, again, this is just it. So I'm going to just grab Soy Dog Foundation's URL. I'm going to grab the end here from the R to the O. Copy that. Come back to, and just replace this up until the question mark. So save it, and if you refresh this page, you're going to notice that that's what we need to put. All right, so that's that for now, but I want to also talk about the button here on the right, which is the Adopt Me button. The Adopt Me button is extremely important because without an Adopt Me button, they can't request information, and there's also location too. We want to put a Google Maps location as well. So Google Maps location, Google Maps. So if we click here and we type in, Soy Dog Foundation. So Soy Dog Foundation, and then we can embed this. I just want to grab the map to show you. Why is it not? Why is it not zooming in? Okay, I don't want to waste time now. So anyway, hang on. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to do the Google Map API. Okay, but I just wanted to show you here that we can add it. Okay, and we are going to add it. So we're going to add the Google Maps, and we're going to add, similar pets as well. Okay, within that area. But on the right now, on the right side here, we have a column 8, which is the left side. So this is the column. Come on now. Left column. And now, let me just line this up, and let me just drop this. And then over here, I'm going to say and then the right column. And over here, I'm going to do a div dot. Oh my gosh, I'm running out of time. Oh wow, div dot call dash large dash 4. and we want to put a shadow here, div.shadow, and inside the shadow we want to put a margin, padding. Let's put a padding -4, and here btn button. I'm running out of time. Class equals to btn, btn and btn dash block and btn dash primary. So btn block, btn primary, and then adopt me, and that's it. And then we can do whatever after that. You're gonna see it. Then we put, and we should put a margin right. We'll put a margin left, large, margin left dash in large screens dash 3. Yeah, that's bad. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that either. Let's put it here inside the card. I mean, inside the shadow. So there, so we're gonna have a margin left. Okay, I'll see you guys on the next tutorial, which is gonna be part 21. So I hope you really enjoyed this video. Thanks, guys, and I'm going to be pushing this. I really hope I didn't run out of time. Control C. I will be pushing this. This is part 20. Thank you, guys, and I'll see you in part 21.